Hello everyone, this is Dr. Sandeep working as Associate Professor in the Department of Mechanical Engineering, Institute of Aeronautical Engineering, Hyderabad. Today we are going to discuss about the concept videos in the... So before going to this topic, at the end of the course, the student can able to describe the atomic bonding between the crystal structures and the crystallographic planes and the directions in the engineering materials, and also explain various types of crystal imperfections and their influence on the mechanical properties of the materials, and interpret the phase diagrams and apply the lever rule to determine the phase compositions in alloy system. So in the continuation of these concept videos, next topic is the thermal equilibrium diagram. So write about thermal equilibrium diagram. So this is the question what you'll get. So for this, the student has to be able to remember and define the concept of thermal equilibrium diagram and identify its essentials such as phases, components, phase boundaries, liquids, solvers line, solvers line, and leading to understand the equilibrium conditions, phase stability, phase transformations, temperature, composition relationships. So what are the things what we have discussed in the previous sessions? So all these things what the student has to understand, and he has to recollect them in order to put this answer to this given question. So for this, the student enables the learner to interpret thermal equilibrium diagrams. So once he try to remember all these things, so this will enable to the learner to interpret the equilibrium diagrams and establish the relation between the temperature, composition, phase formations, microstructural development with the phase diagrams. So this will try to develop the or improve the mechanical, physical and chemical properties of the material, and also by recognizing the significance on the alloying design, heat treatment, casting, welding, metal science, metal selections, manufacturing process and engineering applications. So these are the things what you can establish once the learner try to understand the concept. Coming to the thermal equilibrium diagram. So what is the importance of these thermal equilibrium diagram means? It is a graphical tool used in the material science and metallurgical engineering to understand the changes that occur in the alloy when the temperature is changed under equilibrium conditions. So once a material is there, so this is undergone with the temperature changes under equilibrium conditions. So what is happening? Any type of metal when it is being under heat treatment process. So what happens under the equilibrium condition? That means at room temperature. Okay, once some X metal is being heated, so what happens? So first one is what? It helps to determine the phase present at particular temperature and the temperature at which the phase transformation occurs, the composition of different phases, the sequence of the phases, formation during the cooling and heating process, and the relation between the temperature compositions and the phase stability. So these are the things one can understand if you understand the concept of the thermal equilibrium diagram. So these are other different points. So if you see the exact definition of the thermal equilibrium diagram, so thermal equilibrium diagram is nothing but it's a graphical representation. So you try to represent this in the form of a graphical representation showing the equilibrium phases and the phase transformations in an alloying system as a function of temperature and composition. So depending upon the temperature and composition, so you are trying to represent in the XY axis as a graphical representation of these thermal equilibrium diagrams in order to showcase what is the variations of the material with respect to the temperature of the compound. So here, for a binary type of system, if you are taking here, so the diagram is generally plotted with temperature on the vertical axis, same as what we have discussed in the phase diagram. Similarly, in this case of equilibrium diagrams also, temperature you are trying to draw in the vertical axis and composition you are trying to draw in the horizontal axis. So it is also commonly referred to as equilibrium phase diagram or simply a phase diagram. So almost it is similar to both these two topics. Okay, equilibrium phases or the phase diagrams. So thermal equilibrium is nothing but, before understanding the diagram what is happening, it is important to understand the term thermal equilibrium. Thermal is nothing but the temperature. So a metal is said to be in thermal equilibrium when there is no net change in its phases or thermal conditions with the time under specified conditions. So depending upon the time, if the metal is not being varied, though it is subjected to heat treatment, then that type of system is called as a thermal equilibrium material. And in a alloying system, equilibrium is nothing but the temperature is uniform. So at any point if you observe, at any point in the system if you observe, so at every point the temperature is the same. So that is called as the equilibrium thing. And phases are stable, of course. The composition of each phase has reached its equilibrium value, so that further the phase transformation occurs unless temperature, pressure, or composition is changed. So unless these are being changed, okay, then there is no further transformation. Up to that point, you have the same transformation of the phase. But if these three components are being changed, then there will be some reflections of the phase transformations. So basic components of thermal equilibrium diagram includes the typical binary thermal equilibrium diagram contains several important elements like temperature axis. Of course, what you know, the temperature axis, which is represented vertically, and higher temperature, lower temperature can be indicated with the help of these arrows. And the temperature determines the phases are thermodynamically stable. Okay, you need to find the temperature variations, how the phases are being transformed thermodynamically. And if you see in the composition axis, is nothing but the x-axis. So this is your composition axis. So horizontal axis represents the composition of the Li. For binary Li, as I said, left side should be A, right side should be 100. So this will be 100% here. The remaining will be 0. And here suppose if you are considering this as A and this as B, and similarly here A will be 0 and B will be 100. So this is how this is being represented. Okay. So at any point, if you try to find out the value, it should be equal to 100%. Like that you need to distribute. So this is some 20, 80. Here you will get some 30, 70. Here you will get some 50, 50. So this is the distribution of the composition of the alloying system at x-axis. Phases in thermal equilibrium diagram. A phase is a homogeneous portion of the material having a uniform composition, structure, properties, as well as uniformity. Okay. So here, if you take the examples of this, you have a liquid, ferrite, austenite, cementite, alpha phase, beta phase. So these are the different types of phases in the thermal equilibrium. And a thermal equilibrium diagram, what does it indicate? It indicates the temperature and composition ranges in which these phases are stable. So this is how you need to understand the phase equilibrium or thermal equilibrium diagram. So single phase region, what is happening? If you see here, a region contains only one phase is called a single phase. Okay, so there are no other type of phases. So what are the region which is having only single phase? So this is my X and Y. So it has only one phase, a single. There is no other type of phase. Okay, that type of thing is called as a single phase region. So example is nothing but alpha or beta. So anyone can be there. Either alpha will be there, or beta will be there, or gamma will be there, or some liquid. So only one phase which is available in that region, that type of system is called a single phase region. So in such a region, the material exists primarily as one homogeneous phase under equilibrium conditions. The property of the material are largely determined by the characteristics of the phase. So in this case, what is happening, since it is having only one phase, though you are trying to change the values of the temperature, this phase will not change until unless all the three components are being varied: temperature, pressure, and composition. And two phase regions, a region in which two phases coexist is called a two phase region. So in this case, what is happening? Two phases. So in the previous case, you have seen only one phase. So now in this case, you have one and one more. So alpha and beta. Okay, so here you have two phases. So that's why it's called alpha plus beta. That is means it's a two phase region. So liquid plus alpha, like that. It can be L plus, anything can be there. So two phases. So because of the two phases, what is happening? The properties of the two phases material depend upon the type of phases, relative amount of each phase, distribution of the phases, shape of phases, and size of phases. So this is how distribute. Next, phase boundary. So what is the line which is separating these different phases are called the phase boundary. So as we discussed in the previous sessions also, you have two different phases like this. So what are the boundary? It is there. So this is called as a boundary line or phase boundary line. So phase boundary line indicates the conditions under which the phase transformation begins or ends. So for example, a boundary between liquid and solid, that is called liquid and liquid plus solid. So here what is happening? Here you have liquid and here you have liquid plus solid. So this is my boundary. So this indicates the beginning of the solidification. Similarly, boundary between the liquid plus solid and solid is called as a solidification. So after completion of the solid formation is called as a solidification line. So this is the phase boundary vertical. So liquidus line is nothing but the boundary separating the completely liquid region from the liquid plus solid region. So only a liquid exists is the thought. So that is called as a liquidus line. So when an alloy is cooled or crossed the liquidus line, then the solidification begins. So before that you have liquidus. So once it is crossed, then it is called as a solidus line. So above liquidus it is called liquid. Below liquidus is called liquid plus solid, and after that you will have the solidus line. So liquid temperature is important when means it under casting, welding, melting and solidification. So all these 4 categories can be analyzed with the help of these types of liquidus line. And solvus line, if you see, the solvus line indicates the maximum amount of solid solubility in one component into another phase. Okay. So after this, though you are adding, it can't be soluble. So that is called as a solvus line. So single solid phase, 2 solid phase. So alpha rise to alpha plus beta. That means when the temperature is decreasing below the solvus boundary line, so what is happening particularly, it is important to understand the precipitation, age hardening, solution heat treatment and microstructure control. So all these 5 categories can be varied with the help of this solvus line. And thermal equilibrium during cooling. So what is happening? What is the importance of these thermal equilibrium during cooling? Means consider an alloy initially in the liquid state. So what is happening in the stage 1? You have very high temperature. So the alloy is completely liquid, is not. So since you are trying to heat it, so what is happening, because of the high temperature, it will be in the liquid state. Now slowly what is happening? This liquid at stage 2, it crosses the liquidus line. So what is happening? The first solid phase is beginning. So there is a transformation of liquid to a solid. So what is happening? Completely there won't be solid. It will be a solid plus liquid. So initially to a solid, then it is transformed to solid plus liquid. And further, if you try to cool, it will come to the solid state. So this is the solid. In final stage, what is happening? The alloy becomes completely solid. This sequence can be studied directly using the thermal equilibrium diagram. So with the help of the thermal equilibrium diagram, so what you are trying to do, you are first initially you have heated the metal, so it is completely under the liquid form, and slowly if you reduce the temperature, what is happening? This liquid is being converted into liquid plus solid, and further if you decrease the temperature, what is happening? This solid is liquid plus solid is finally fully transforming to a solid. So this is the transformation what you have to observe. So thermal equilibrium during the heating process. So this is the step by step what is happening inside during the thermal equilibrium process. So completely, if you see the liquid, therefore the thermal equilibrium diagram helps to understand both heating as well as the cooling transformations. So coming to the next type of reaction, eutectic reaction. So almost similar to the previous sessions what you had discussed, the same type of thing what you have understood. So in this also you have the eutectic reaction. So a very important transformation shown in the thermal equilibrium diagram is the eutectic reaction. So what is happening in this eutectic reaction? The general reaction is liquid gives rise to 2 solids. So liquid is trying to give the alpha plus beta. So in the phase diagram, so initially it was liquid, then you are getting to alpha plus beta. And at some point here you have only the alpha. Okay. Here again you have some liquidus like that. Okay, so this is the transformation what you try to understand. So this type of reaction is called eutectic temperature eutectoid. Next, a solid is being converted into 2 solids, then the type of reaction is called eutectoid reaction. Then austenite is an example. So this gives us to ferrite plus cementite. So this transformation produces the microstructure which is known as a pearlite. So pearlite is nothing but the solid is being split into 2 solids. Pertectic reaction is nothing but liquid plus solid gives rise to a new solid. So then that type of reaction is called pertectic reaction. The tie line method is nothing but so when you have 2 different phases, so if you want to find out what is the compositions of these 2 different phases, then the tie line. So a tie line has to be drawn between these 2 phases. So this is my phase. I'll try to drop these lines and try to Okay, find out what is the percentage at these 2 points, then that is called as a tie line. You're so trying to tie a line between the faces to find out the composition. So example is alpha plus beta region. So the tie line intersects the phase boundaries at two different compositions, and these compositions can be represented with the help of the equilibrium conditions, that is the alpha plus beta phases. Thermal equilibrium diagram or iron carbon system. So in this case, the iron carbon equilibrium diagram is one of the most important thermal equilibrium diagram for mechanical engineering and material science engineering. So it is used to understand the behavior of steels, cast iron, heat treated components, welded components, and forged components. So this is the importance of the thermal equilibrium while drawing the iron carbon diagram. Next, important phases which include ferrite, austenite. So ferrite, you have BCC type of thing, so it is a soft, ductile, and very low carbon solubility. And next one is austenite, it is having FCC type of crystal structure. It is a very high carbon solubility, stable, elevated temperature, important during the heat treatment process. So these are some of the important points which you need to understand for the phase diagrams, which include ferrite. And if you see the cementite also, it is a high carbon content type of thing, and hard, brittle in nature, important contributor to hardness and wear resistance. And further, it is nothing but is a mixture of ferrite plus cementite. It provides a useful combination of strength and stability, and which has a good ductility material. And if you see the importance of the heat treatment involves the control, heating and cooling of the material to obtain the desired properties. So if you want to improve or enhance the properties of the material, then the heat treatment process is very, very important. So in this thermal equilibrium and diagram, this will try to help the critical transformations of the temperature, austenizing temperature, solution heat treatment, and phase stability, solubility. So this is how you need to understand the importance of the heat treatment process. So finally, if you see the summary of that thermal equilibrium, what is the importance of the thermal equilibrium diagram? So it is a powerful tool for understanding how the engineering materials have been there, and what is the importance of these thermal materials, which can have both the temperatures as well as the composition changes, and it provides a clear relation between the temperature, composition, as well as the phase stability and the microstructure. And by using these thermal equilibrium diagrams, engineers can predict the transformations, design and the suitable alloys, select the heat treatment conditions, and control the final properties of the engineering material. So from this we'll conclude this session, and these are some of the references where you can get the information of these some of the topics what we have discussed now. So one is Sydney Javier, an Introduction to Physical Metallurgy, and the second one is Essential of Material Science Engineering by Donald. Third one is Material Science Engineering by Kodigiri, and finally Material Science Engineering by William Castle. So these are the references where you can take the concept video topics and how to proceed these topics and how to differ. Thank you for this.
Like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.